Council districts and the mayor's race when we get a little closer to election day. Today, it's the spotlight on District 7. 5 candidates here in the studio with me to talk about various things, and 2 reporters from PLAZA, the ARAMASTX.com. And Elaine Wolf is going to start the next round of questions. And this round, Elaine is going to start with Cris Medina.
Thanks, Jack. Let's talk a little bit about an issue that's been more closely associated with Districts 3 and 6. Jennifer Ramos, of course, got in trouble for writing a letter on behalf of the foundation associated with her former employer, WellMed. That letter went to Saha, supporting the idea of a memorandum of understanding, but it was signed by other council members. It was signed in part by District 7's Justin Rodriquez. And so my question, starting with Cris Medina, is there any ethical culpability on the part of that councilman? How would you deal with those sort of like ethical sticky wickets? Was there some due diligence he should have done there? Should he have signed that letter?
Well, I think that, just for perception issues, I think that there needs to be a little bit more, probably a little bit more due diligence on that. Oftentimes, council members are colleagues and friends and sign off on memos for each other. Sometimes in the haste of getting something in before close of business on that day, it's signed off. So I think maybe a little bit more due diligence in terms of having a better process of signing off on something that perhaps could have some ramifications later on down the line. But culpability, no, I think that he supports. He signed off on that memo and was supportive of helping out. So
You were in his office at the time?
I probably was. I left in December.
Do you remember any conversations?
I do not. I do not. Yeah.
Okay. Ruben Cortez, what are your thoughts on that?
I tell you, it's coming from a major corporation like USAA, where I was there for 23 years as an information technology manager with 60 employees. Everything you do has a recourse. So Justin, I don't speak for Justin. He does what he does. I wouldn't personally do that. I have my district. I have my issues. When you start getting involved in other things like that, as some of us know here, with the snap of a finger, things happen. And is it worth it to get involved in other people's things that you don't have the information? For me, coming from a major corporation, we don't do that. It's a procedure. It's step by step. Justin can do as he does because that's his thing. In my world, no, we don't do that.
Mm-hmm. Gloria Rodriquez, if I could just phrase the question a little bit differently for you. We're talking about WellMed. We're talking about the letter that Jennifer Ramos sent on its behalf to Saha. That was also signed by Justin Rodriquez. WellMed, sort of like Avance, the organization you founded, is seen as something that provides a good to the community. Is the standard any different in that type of situation?
No, the standard should not be any different. One needs to really be careful at what they sign. And as a leader, they set the climate for all the office. And so we need to make sure, I want to make sure that as a city council person, if elected, that we do not do things like this. I did receive a Lifetime Achievement Award in Ethical Leadership. It was a national award. And so ethics comes from your behavior, your values, your philosophy, your ethics. And so running a nonprofit for 32 years, meeting our budget, making sure that every budget was good, and that we needed to represent all the funders that gave to us to do what we needed to do. And so I feel that, unfortunately, I love Jennifer Ramos. I hope nothing happens, because she has provided tremendous good to the community. And I'm sure the intentions were not there by anyone that signed it as well.
Mm-hmm. So even though you love her and has done good things for the community, if she came to you and said, hi, I could really use your support on this, you would dig a little bit deeper into the issue.
Well, I think that the days where backdoor politics or backroom deals happen need to change. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, I would feel that we need a new climate at City Hall where there is accountability, transparency, openness, and where things are not done in haste.
Fred Runhell.
taken the people into consideration. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Thanks. Sorry I cut you off. Fred Runhell, she did consult with the city attorney's office. She got a memo from the city attorney's office saying, "Hey, recuse yourself from votes." Did she go far enough? Do you have some? What is your your responsibility to your constituents beyond just the letter that you get?
Obviously, if she attempted to address it with the city attorney to get advice, that's certainly one step, but certainly not enough. To be able to look through a situation, thoroughly and be able to address an issue clearly and succinctly. I will say that I don't know the details of her proposal. I do know that in her proposal it allowed the city to have services from WellMed, but there was no cash expense or no expenses from the city itself or any loss in that particular arena. But it does lend itself to diligence and being able to cross the T's.
And maybe the attorney needed to be also more open.
Elena Guajardo, if you have been at City Hall, certainly you've come across these types of situations. Give us a little insight into how that works in between council members. What sorts of favors do they ask for one another? What do you do when someone approaches you and says, "I really need your support on this deal"?
Good question, but I wanted one more thing, because we talked about trees and you have a wide audience here. This is imperative today. Today at our legislature is a bill, and you need to call Senator Wentworth because he's sitting on the committee. It will give, for any undeveloped land in Bexar County, the option to go total tree cutting, totally. And it would trump on any of our tree ordinances. And so today, the House has already passed it. It's in the Senate today. So please call Senator Wentworth if you're a tree hugger. Please, please, please. So now to your question. Ethics is a big thing. Everything you do has to be how are you conducting business with the highest standards? And the memos, the Six Sig memos that come around everything, you have the possibility of the question. Sometimes what the signatures mean is, yes, let's go ahead. Doesn't mean that you agree, but it's worthy enough to go into a council agenda. Okay, and there's where you have the fuller debate. But you have another question, Elaine, and I think that's the higher question here, is that in anything you do, anything in your speech, your writings, your presentations, anything that you're conducting in line of city as a council person, what are the ethical lines there? And nowhere should be there should be an impression, even the impression, and that's the issue here, is that when you read a story, can you tell the story of someone and says, what does your gut tell you? And if it says there's been no harm, etc., but it should never have the impression in anything you do. And this is just one. There's been several things. Tickets that were bought to the previous administration to go to Washington, all that stuff. It's like it leads, for so many people that are outside of government, the cynicism of government. It falls into that.
All right, let's do this. I really want to get a brief closing statement from each of you. Let's say about 30 seconds. I'll hold you to about that, but please be brief. Make the case for your candidacy or differentiate yourself from the other candidates, because this is a very big field and very qualified field. And Ruben Cortez, we'll start with you on that. About 30 seconds.
Thank you, Jack. Listen, we have a very diverse area in District 7. As shown here with the people who are running, we have retired people, we have independent businesses, we have people who are out there doing day-to-day. We have a lot of issues coming up. We've had a tremendous amount of growth in the past 10 years. With that growth, we've had issues. We've had some problems with crime. We've had people, some of the graffitis in the area. As a candidate, these are the things that I'm going to address. I've been in that area. I walk the streets. I drive them up and down. I've probably listed houses that you've seen. So, growth is good. Backup is even better.
All right. Dr. Gloria Rodriquez, closing statement from you.
Yes, I would like to use my 32 years of experience, my doctorate degree, and my proven results into the citizens of District 7. My goals are education, economic development, and community improvement and community development. I have earned the trust of many local, national, and international organizations who have recognized my results, from Business Magazine to the White House. And the thing is, we had a 91% dropout rate at Avance, and we moved it to a 94% graduation rate among the children.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So it's proven results.
Fred Ronhell, closing statement from you.
Thank you. First of all, Jack, thank you, and I want to thank our questionnaire or questioning group here. I have served the community for well over 25 years with voluntary efforts from PTAs, band boosters, church boards, city council appointments. I've also served my own neighborhood for 12 years, 6 years as president. I have been a businessman for over 25 years now. And so what I bring to the table is the consistency of addressing you, the voter. The voter is the most important. It is not what is my agenda, but what is the agenda of the voters, the community, the seniors, those that have been struggling with communication, those that need addressing problems that don't know what exactly to do.
Okay, I need to hold you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Elena Guajardo, a closing statement from you, 30 seconds.
Okay, as your former councilwoman, I know what this job takes. I know what it requires and the responsibility that it holds. I'm job ready. I'll be your full-time advocate again. It's about protecting your safety. It's about jobs. It's about advocating and ethics reform. And I'm your, it is about neighborhood focus and being fiscally responsible. Hope to have your vote.
All right, and Cris Medina, 30 seconds from you, please.
Thank you, Jack. Just want to thank KTSA and PDA. I'm running because I want to make sure that District 7 continues to move forward. We're on the rise. We're getting things done in the community. I'm ready to apply my experience that I've gotten to work for the past councilman and apply that experience that I've gained to continue to work hard for the working families of District 7, whether it's addressing our graffiti issues, whether it's improving our opportunities for increased quality of life. I'm ready to advocate for all the families in District 7 on day one.
All right. Thank you to all of the candidates. Great job. You were all very, very good. A big thanks to Elaine and Gilbert from Plaza de Armas. I always want to say Plaza de Texas. Plaza de Armas.
Soon it will be Plaza de Texas.
Just change the name. Today's San Antonio. And we will be hopefully visiting with all of you again before Election Day and many other city council districts to come. It's 11:58 on KTSA.